For more problems and videos like this for linear algebra, you can take a look at Sarai Studies, link is in the description box below. So the big question of this lesson is to determine whether any vector that's given to you is a combination of these two vectors and their scalars. Note that this vector is 1 to the right and 0 up, so it just looks like this. This vector is 0 to the right and 1 up, so it looks like this. When we're asking if this vector u is a combination of these two vectors, we can translate this into an equation. So it's asking, is u a combination of vector 1 and vector 2 with scalars 1 and 2? In other words, is u a combination of these vectors and their scalars 1? In other words, is u a combination of these vectors and their scalars? That is the question that we're asking. We already know what the vectors are. They're these. And we also know what u is. U is this. So the only thing that's missing is really the scalars. We're trying to find out if there actually are scalars that combine with these vectors to give me this vector u. And if you simplify this further, we know that when we scale vectors, this goes and multiplies to this and to this. So this really becomes c1 times 1 and then c1 times 0 plus, and then the same thing, c2 times 0 and c2 times 1. And if you take a look at this, this starts looking like an equation. And if you simplify things, this becomes 0, this becomes 0, and this is just c1, and here this is just c2. We're literally saying that these vectors are the same. So that must mean that c1 is -2 and c2 is 3. So the scalars c1 and c2 that combine with these vectors that's going to give me this are -2 and 3. Therefore, because these scalars exist, it is possible to combine to get this. Then we can say that this vector is a linear combination, linear because it's a linear equation, of these vectors and their scalars. And we can double check our answer. So we're saying that we can get u by combining scalar 1, which is -2, times vector 1 plus scalar 2, which is 3, times vector 2. And this should give us this. That is what we just solved for. The scalars that when combined with these vectors should give us this. So again, -2, -2 times 0 is 0. Then 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 1 is 3. When you add these, you add a cross, so that's just going to be -2 and then 3 at the bottom. And then what are we left with? It equals our vector u. So we found scalars that combine with these vectors to give us u. So therefore we can say that this vector u is a linear combination. Literally, it's a combination of these vectors and their scalars. And we can plot u. So that would be 2 to the left and then 3. So this vector here is a combination of these two vectors. Now let's try one more in the next video.